Winsor & Newton water mixable oil colors perform just like conventional oil colors, except you can use water to clean them up. The reason you can do that is because it's been chemically modified to be able to accept the water for cleanup. It's still, in these tubes of paint, just pigment and linseed oil. So you can still go through all the techniques that you normally would. But the great thing about it is if you have some sort of sensitivity to solvents, or you just want the ease of cleanup, or like myself, I go out and paint in landscape sometimes and I don't want to have to take solvent with me, this is a great way to avoid that and move forward with your oil painting. And they also dry by oxidation, just like conventional oil colors. That means that the paint needs to come into contact with air to lock into place and form a stable paint film. So you want to make sure that you don't thin out your paint with too much water or too much thinner, because it's going to separate the pigment there too far apart and you can lead to cracking and instability. In the same way, you don't want to add too much oil to the mix either. Too much oil in your mediums is going to cause the paint to bind up in what we call alligatoring. It's also not stable and it doesn't look too good either, so you want to be careful with that. Now there's 11 mediums in the range. 2 of them I have here though are the more popular ones, linseed oil and stand oil. And I'm going to use a little bit of stand oil right now. Pour some of this on the palette. It's got a very honey-like consistency. I like stand oil. It's a little bit more yellowing than the linseed oil. Both will provide a gloss and both will improve flow. I'm going to take a little bit of the ultramarine here. And you want to use only as much oil as you need, only as much medium as you need to get the paint to flow. Again, you don't want to use too much. And look at that, it really gets it to flow, but it's got a nice feel to it. The brush strokes level nicely, so if I want to use it for glazing, that's wonderful. And that's one of the things I always liked about it. It's just got a great feel to it. You really need to feel it to see what's happening. And I'm going to take water here, of course. I can clean that up. All right, wipe off my paintbrush just a little bit more, and I can do that. Now I also have thinner here too. You might wonder, well, why would I need an Artisan thinner, a water mixable thinner, if I've got water? It seems to not make any sense. But there's a good reason for that. Water evaporates more quickly than the thinner does, so you'll have a longer open working time with that. And also what's going to happen is when you introduce water into the paint film, light refracts off water differently than other surfaces. And what's going to happen, it's going to appear a little bit lighter than straight out of the tube without water in that. But that's okay. It's going to evaporate. The water's going to evaporate from the paint film in about a week or two, and it's going to return back to its normal color and its normal sheen. So you don't have to worry about that, but it's just something to be aware of. And we've also got varnishes over here. So you can go through the whole entire process of painting through varnishing with water cleanup. And we've got a matte, a satin, and a gloss finish over there. And you'll notice that the matte and the satin look a little bit cloudy. That's because they have matting agents in them to knock down the sheen, knock down the gloss. So you want to stir them up before you apply them to your paint film. And the reason you don't want to shake them, be careful of that, is because you can introduce bubbles to the paint film, and that's not good for your varnish layer. And really important thing with varnishing, you still need to wait 6 to 12 months to varnish the painting. Again, it's like a conventional oil, except you have the ability to clean up with water. So again, it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. It's easy, works nicely, and you can avoid the solvents if that's something that you want to do. And also, brushes. Keep in mind that if you're going to use a brush with this, or when you use a brush with this, you want to use a synthetic brush. Hog hair or natural hair, when it comes into contact with water, it's sort of like your own hair. Too much humidity gives you a bad hair day. You can have a bad hair day for your brush as well. So when you use a synthetic, they're more apt to handle water better and not lose their shape.